colleagues was first, the entire system here, or what you see in here, we have this, we have the rack cabin, which is just in the corner there. Which is just in the corner. That's called the rack cabin. The entire stuff here, it's called the rack cabin. And the one in the extreme corner here, it's called the mounted rack cabin up there. The one up here. Then inside the rack cabin, what Mr. Musoke will show you, and that will be tomorrow. Up here, Miss the Queen, but I'm still teaching these people. I'm not going to be really trying to say hello to you, friend, okay? And these two here, up here, you see those two? Those are called punch fiber panels, okay? I try to bring close to that. Fiber connector panel. And look at them. Then when you look at this, in the extreme corner, this one here, this from the fiber panel, and it moves down up to the switch, okay? I've said that's called a mounted rack cabin. Now you already see this black box here. You already see this black cabin here. That's called a power bank. A power bank. Inside this power bank, it has 60 batteries in it. 60 battery in it. It has a UPS, which you already see this here. This one here. This UPS, it regulates the power from that power bank. Lots of codes. Yes, friend. Power bank, and this was spoiled. What it is missing now, it is the motherboard. When it's replaced in it, then that UPS will be able to function. Connected to this power bank. Inside this power bank, you should see in here, inside here, it has 60 batteries. The 60 batteries, they are divided into strips. Each those strips, so far one has been spoiled. One, if at all that 20, one strip is spoiled, then the entire 20 batteries will not really be applied anymore. The strip is just disconnected. Okay. About that, then let's come to our rack cabin, this other rack cabin that you already see here. Before, Madam, let me connect a cord for me. This I'm going to take this. Before we had we had this as its door. We just removed it. Reason being, I wanted people to fit in here. But now since you're very many, and I can't really put the entire class in here. Let me first put back this door. I think I should also try to show you this. Bring him in. This door has locks, okay? Up here, let me try to show you something here. This door has locks. We try to look at it here, at the extreme end here. This has here. Also, it has another one down there. You put them into this lock, then you push this down. If you want to remove it, you just push it up to remove this door of this of the rack cabin. Let me try to do that very fast, and after we proceed with our training. Okay. The madam who is with me here, she cannot lift apart from enjoying my seat. If you have a question, feel free to ask that question right away, friends. Do not delay, please, okay? Okay. Now this door will be, now we put back this door. Yes?
The light behind the window.
Light behind the window? Yeah. Okay, I'll try to find a way. Now, we can put back this, and then before I was talking about the light behind the window, we have this lock here, this handle here. I think if you close the window, we can see well. The window has no curtain. The one you're requesting to close. Maybe I should put there my coat. Let me put there my coat. Hopefully it will show us something better. Okay. Hopefully it will show us something. Someone should help me check the second lab, whether the people in the second lab, they can really try to see what's really taking place here. I'll try to see the, now let me try to show you something. Whoever who comes in, give them a jacket like this, so that it does not sign them out. Because when it doesn't contain anything. Now, for example, this person is question. I think if you close the window, don't use capsulators when you're making inquiries, because when you do that, night boot will sign out your question. All right, come in. You go to my channel. Yes. My names. Okay. Now, this is our cabin, the entire stuff here. It's our cabin. Don't say that this is a server. This is not a server. The servers are just down here, okay? Then we have the thin client. I'd like to show you that. Our thin client, this thin client we always use. It has this Ethernet port here, okay? It has this Ethernet port in here. When we put in our cable and we lay the cable through what we refer to as a trunk, this robot will try to show you that we put in a cable here. Then we lay it to a data port, which Robert will tell you, which Robert will talk about more during the session, up to up to what we refer to as a punch panel. I'm going to show you a punch panel. I'll put this up here. Punch is this one up here, okay? Punch panel is labeled 1 to up to 24. Okay? Implying that's in a 24 punch panel. There is a 48 punch panel, okay? It's also labeled from 1. It's labeled from 1. If at all I remove this 1, 2, 3 up to 48. Now that's referred to as a 48 punch panel. Robert also talk about that too. Then there's a brush panel here. When I try to move inside here, there is a brush panel. Then the brush panel is used to organize cables like the way you see them here. When you see the difference between these without a brush panel and with these with brush panels, they have been organized. Okay. Up here we have a switch. But this switch, it has 48 ports up to the end. Then we have these other 4 separated 4 ports. Nobody will talk about more about this, but these 4 ports do not have they're just empty in them. Right in here we are supposed to put in fiber, okay? If you want this switch to be connected to a fiber, this other second switch you see that's lighting green here, it has these separated 2 ports at the beginning here. These are referred to as manageable ports. Let me first remove this. These are called manageable ports. With these 2, you can log into this switch and you can configure it. A manageable port and manageable switch is a switch that you can log into and configure a port. What we refer to as a port is this, where you put your Ethernet cable here. And for example, I can configure this port and assign someone, for example, an accountant, and I say this accountant will have such internet speed, and I can say this is for the students, or this is for my manager, or this is for the human resources support, like that. Configuring this, implying these two people will not really be able to communicate through these ports to each other because each has been assigned a port. Okay. Also, this manageable port, as the previous one up there, as the previous up one here, also it has the 4 ports where we can put the fiber connector. Earlier, those who didn't see the fiber connector, I'll try to go back to it. The fiber connector is this connector you see here. Let me try to remove this. This you see in blue color here. This one. That's the fiber connector, and this is the fiber. Okay. The moment I remove this like this, I'll be disconnecting internet at the entire faculty of science, which I will not really try to do right now. But just know this is a fiber connector, and this is a fiber cord. These short ones are called punch cords. Why do we refer these as punch cord, not Ethernet cables? Punch cords are half a meter. Okay, half a meter. Then 1 meter, that is referred to as an Ethernet cable, the one you always put on your laptop. All right. Okay. Now on Monday and Tuesday, I talked about KVMs. Okay, KVMs. This is what you see here. This one, the one I'm going to pull. This, okay. This is the entire KVM setup. On sides, when you look here, and these two, this and this is where we have the locks. Those locks, you pull them towards you so that you can be able to push this back. When you just push it back before pulling the locks, this will not really be pushed back inside the server. You have to hold the locks, then you pull towards you, then you push it back. Okay. Then behind here, this one is the KVM switch. This is the KVM monitor. When you open it, this is the KVM keyboard. On it, when you look here, we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 8, implying this KVM system can connect up to 8 servers. Okay. If at all you have put a cable, I'm going to show you how these look like behind these buttons here. Just different buttons. Hopefully you hear that sound. Whatever I place on it will change the color like that, implying that position of that signal will be displaying what is on that server. Temporarily, that will be using that channel. Okay, if at all I place number 5, implying it will be server 5 that will be displaying. When I place A6, then implying server on 6, it will be displaying like that. Let me try to show you these channels behind the KVM switch. Let me fold this. Okay, let's go behind. I need to first push this back. Let me show you behind. That's all about the KVM switch. Behind, it looks like this. Behind, let me remove these cables. Behind, try to look at it. You see we have those yellow ports. We have PC5. Let me also remove this cable too. We have PC1 that responds to the button 1 you saw earlier in front. We have PC2 response to button 2, PC4, PC3. What you should take in your mind that each of those represents a server, implying I can connect up those servers. And other than keeping on swapping this cable, you see here, this black cable here, the AVJ cable, each will be having its own AVJ cable corresponding to its server. Okay? Then in case of swapping to any server or logging into any server, I place the buttons I've just tried to show you earlier. Okay, let's first go back in front and we see. Okay, that's for the case of our KVM switch that some of you failed to try to find out or to search about. Labelings for it, let me open it again. Here, when you just look at just down here, it has 8-port KVM, implying this KVM, it takes up to 8 servers, okay? After you putting in 8 servers into the rack cabin, the entire rack cabin like this, there is no need of you keeping on swapping like the way I'm going to do it manual like this. Remove this and then you take it maybe to the lower server, or you take it back to the upper server. After introducing the KVM switch and introducing this to each of the server, there is no need of swapping this. Okay? Swapping like that. Okay, that's one thing. Then another thing I told you, I talked about passwords last time of accessing the server remotely. I told you we can access the passwords up here, this white paper here, or if not on the top, I'm going to put the lower server. Try to, hopefully you can see that, okay? You hold it, there are handles here. Are they visible? Yes. There are handles here. You pull this handle like this, you hold. If I told it's upper server, you pull the handle like this, you hold even here, then you pull it out like that, all right? Can you push this back? Hold this, pull it out. This is the lower server. Also, it has its password. They're up here, and username, okay? They're just up here. If these ones are fed up, the way you see them is fading up, you can no longer see them, then you go to this slit. This in here, you see this one here, you hold it like this, you pull it out like this, then on sides, this side here, there's also password and the username, or you can scan this, okay? You can scan this barcode, still you can get the same credentials and you can remotely access this server, okay? But what you should put into consideration, to use that option to locate this server remotely, you need to have connected your server in the aeroport. Right now, the aeroport is not connected, implying even though you see the password or you see the username, you can't remotely connect to this server, okay? Okay. Even this other second server below, also it has that option. Can pull out this, still the details are just here, password and the scan barcode, okay? Can do that. You can also access this lower server. We push this back. Any question? Let me first ask before I proceed. Any question from that before I proceed to another thing? Any question yet? CTI is MZU14 and the rest, please. Thank you for that. Taking people through this class. Okay, if not question is, please interject, okay? Try to interrupt if you have a question. Don't wait till when I'm done with something. Ask. Now, behind our servers here, let me move behind and try to show you where the aeroports are and the Ethernet ports. Let me first push this back. Then behind out, I need to remove these cables here. Okay. Sorry about that internet buffering. Then behind here, you see where that cable is. This cable, the white cable, where it's blinking from it towards where you see the blue color. There are more other 3 ports. Starting from here, going this side, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, implying there are more other 4 ports. Then in the corner here, let me put it down. Here below this, another port labeled arrow. This it's labeled arrow. It has an arrow pointing at it. Let me try to move a little bit closer. That port, it's called arrow. Just let me try to push this a little bit, people. This port here, up here, this one, it's called arrow port. That's the manageable port that you can use to remotely connect to the server, okay? Even the lower server has the same case. The lower server has the same arrow port. whereby you can really try to access those two servers remotely. It's a matter of you adding their Ethernet port in that IRO port you have seen, then you put it on the switch, either on this or on the switch up here. Implying now, after doing that, I'm going to show you where you get the IRO IP, because to connect to the server remotely, you need its IP address. The same way we were doing it yesterday. Remember yesterday we were doing remote desktop session. Remote desktop session required us to be with an IP. After putting in the IP, then it gives you a window where you're going to put in the username for the administrator and the password for the administrator. The same thing will apply with the IRO system, okay? I'm sweating. Let me first open the window. Kels, how are you? Damn, we shall not switch from here. Okay. Now, let's move. Then let's come back here. Let's come back here to the server. In front of the servers here, they have where we put the DVD drive, okay? Where we put the DVD drive, we put our CD here, then you can push it in. It has USB ports. You have, go back. We have USB ports. We have one. This is 1, 2. Then the third one is just in the corner here, okay? The third, implying you can use either for this mouse and keyboard. Then you can put maybe a USB flash in the corner here, in the extreme corner here. The other thing you should know about the server, the power button is up here, okay? This power button up here, this. But there's another button below that is lighting green. This one that is not lighting, below here, this one. It's labeled as UID. Then the UID, if at all we mess up with any of our hard disk here, we can use this to reset, this button here. Then about the hard disks for this server, we have one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? And these are disks, we can remove them by placing this button you see below here. You place to give you this handle, okay? This handle. You hold it, then you can push back the hard disk, okay? Now look at this. We have removed one of the hard disks, is this. And how big is this hard disk? Its capacity, when try to change, let me try to change. I will not hold in the middle because it's hot, as I told you earlier. Hopefully you can see those, you can see the capacity above there. 600 GB, 10 KB, SAS. Then we can put back the hard disk. You hold on its handle like this. Push it back in its slot. Okay? Then after, that's when you should lock. When you lock, it gives that color to stabilize back to its position. Then below, that same case in here, okay? What else you need to know? Then also in front here, what you should know about is that these servers are 9 generation, okay? HP 9 generation servers, DL380, that's its model number, okay? DL380. If you want to search about them on internet, even this other lower one, it's also the same thing. It's a generation 9, but right now we have generation 10 and generation 11. What's the difference between generations? The more you talk about generations, the more they increase these hard disks, okay? If they say generation 10, implying they have increased the hard disk. The generation 11, they increase the hard disks. This is generation 9, that's why we have 8. Implying 10, we shall have 9 hard disks. 11, we shall have 10 hard disks, like that. Okay? You have any question, people? Do not hesitate, people, to ask. I'm trying to monitor my camera to see the questions coming from you. And Samuelin, thank you for passing by. Malami Salamat Kaibigan. Okay, let's move on. Okay, right now those people who are dealing with the case of your, I think I should turn on my my earbuds. Let me turn them on. Should speak through earbuds. Then first connect. When they connect, I'll put them in my ears. Any question, please feel free to ask, okay? I'm going to go to the place. Come on. Flip the camera. Okay. Any question, feel free to ask before we proceed. I'm still here. Let me try to see people you may not really try to do in my class. Let me try to. Before we proceed. Still here. Try to see. Why do you need to move down? You have some questions? Yes, Joshua, it's industrial training. Let's put back this and come back without that. Joshua, it's industrial training. Hopefully people can hear me. If you don't hear me, let me know. By the way, use those, you can use these to listen if at all I can do corresponding to people. If you don't hear my sound, let me know. Okay, now Joshua, you were asking me, is this industrial training? Yes, it is. I'm trying to show them, but I can't put 75 students in this small room. That's why I decided to do this. Off? It's fine, it's fine. Okay, because it's this. Okay, stand on this here. Now, someone was asking me about the punch panel. The punch panel is this up here, okay? But Robert is going to show you again during networking about the punch panel, okay? Up here, without anything, with the punch panel, this is how it looks like. Look at it. This is how the punch panel looks like, okay? This punch panel up here, the one that is up there, this is how it looks like, and behind, this is how it looks like. But Robert will bring this to you in class, and indeed he will take you through how we deal with the punch panel and how you terminate on the punch panel. That is networking. May I just bring out the case of the server and how you communicate with the server through the punch panel. The reason why these punch panels are introduced in here, so that you don't make a direct communication to the switch, okay? Making a direct communication to the switch implies someone can have high chances of reconfiguring the switch. That's why this is introduced as a punch panel. This is a 24-port punch panel, like the one I was trying to show you earlier. Hopefully you can see that number there. A 24-port punch panel. It starts from 1 up to 24, implying this punch panel can be connected to 24 users. This one. Hopefully, if at all sir, the one who was inquiring about the punch panel, if at all it is okay with you, you tell me in the chat it's okay. If it's not yet, then I can explain more about the punch panel. Robert will bring more about that. This is a brush panel, but also Robert will explain to this more in class, okay? It's a brush panel, new one. We'll bring in this in the class and we'll try to take you through that too. Okay, let's go back to our explanation in the rack cabin. Nathan was asking about aeroport. I would like to hear more about the aeroport. Okay, the aeroport is the port on the server that is used to access or remotely communicate to this server, even though you're out of this network. I repeat, the aeroport is the port found on a server, or it's a manageable port. On that old server you looked at that is in the lab right now on Monday, it is a system management port, okay? It's labeled as SYS MGT, system management port. But on these HP servers, it's labeled as ILO. That's the same. It's doing the same work, right? It's found behind the server. When you want to remotely connect this server, even though you're outside Chambogo network or this network, you just need to put a cable behind. Then you take it to the switch up there, so that this machine can be on the network. But also, what you should know about the IRO, it's not about just taking note of connecting the cable on the switch and the server, but you also need to install the IRO software. You just download it from internet, then you put it either on the tablet, on your laptop, on the desktop, in the position where you are, and you really be able to access this this server. All right. Hopefully the person who asked about the aeroport, I am answering you. If at all it's not yet clear to you, let me know. I'll really be able to do it again. If you have no any other question, we can proceed to another thing. Should we proceed? Just say yes in the chat room. If you have a question, then I have to answer it. Punch panel issue, hopefully I've solved that. Anyone should just say yes. Each room, someone can just say yes. Just do me that. What's that? I read this other envelope. Now about that, does the punch panel have any configurations in order to protect the switch? No, it's like it's just like a barrier. Okay. For example, let me give you a scenario. When you're in your room, maybe you have a roommate in your room. You putting a curtain, it doesn't mean that a curtain is really a strong wall, okay? But it's a barrier, okay? Your roommate cannot really try to look at you or communicate to you directly. You have put something. The mere introduction of all of that, of this, the mere introduction of the punch panel in the network, there is no direct communication to this switch, okay? This manageable switch. Hopefully that simple example can really try to explain to you. For the punch panel has no configuration, or it's not electronically, maybe that you log into it and put configuration in it. It's a barrier placed into the network, okay? Are we together? The person who has inquired about that, who was that? And that is Davix. Davix. It protects that direct communication between you and the switch. If you want any configuration, if you want to configure any port, if you want to configure maybe someone's internet, you're supposed to log into the switch, okay? You're supposed to log into the switch. The software that they use to log into the switch, it's called the PUTY. Robert will talk more about that. I don't want to go into deep into networking, but Robert will really try to take you through that, okay? I just trying to show you how those thin clients in the lab, how they run through the system up to this server. Okay, thank you, Davix. Any other questions? Should we proceed? Okay, let's proceed. I'm going now to switch off the server. Then we I know I'm going to mess up with what your installation is. Bear with me with that, because I have to show you this. The server has what we refer to as intelligent provisioning, okay? Intelligent provisioning, it's accessed by placing either F11 or F9. Those options are always being displayed on the screen below here. There is no need of cramming them. You always see them down here on the screen. The others are placed in the corner here, okay? That will really be easy for you to see or to read. I'll switch off one of the server here, then we shall really try to mess up with it, okay? Let me switch off this from here. This is the bar button to switch it off. Another thing I should remind you that I talked about on Monday is that when power goes off, this server always goes off. But when power comes back, automatically the server will switch on itself automatically. There's no need to come here and switch on the button from here. Okay, let me switch it off. I'm long pressing the button. Okay, now we have turned off our server, and this is how it looks like when it has been turned off, okay? It just gives us an orange showing that the server has been switched off. When it's on, with the green button. I'm going to turn it on. It requires me to show I'll be showing you this keyboard, the buttons we're going to deal with. Also, I will show you what is happening on the screen, okay? All right. I'll turn it on here. This is how it turns on. Let's wait now on the screen. Let's wait on the screen. Hopefully it's the port, okay? Let's wait on the screen. On the screen, hopefully you can see this here. It's showing us our IRO 4 IP version 4. It's unknown. The reason being our cable is not connected behind. Those who recall the IRO port is showing us unknown. If I thought there was a cable, it would have assigned us here a number, okay, which is an IP address. All right. If you have it's still loading. It's still loading everything, system chipsets and so on. But I'm waiting for the moment when it will show us the command here. After showing you the command, that's when I will place the on the keyboard. It's still loading. It will take some time, but it's fine. Feel free to ask, okay? Feel free to ask. It's fine. Eileen Samolin, thank you. Now look here, people. It has system utilities, intelligent provisioning. It is F10. And then when it's boot menu, it is the F11. Then when it's network boot, it's F12. I'll press F10 to receive that. You just press F10 once, okay? Then it will be highlighted with white. Hopefully you can see this. Intelligent provisioning, boot menu, network boot. I told you if you don't have a physical CD or DVD or flash drive, you can also install the operating system through a network, which was being shown here. Then when you press intelligent provisioning, this is how the system will look like, okay? Intelligent provisioning, smart storage administrator, and script toolkit, Windows PE 64-bit mode. It's loading. When I try to also to come to this, showing booting, intelligent provisioning, loading the kernel and the RAM disk. As it's opening up, let's wait. Let's give it some minutes so at least we can be able to proceed. It will give us this HP. Someone was asking about the enterprise. Hopefully you got the answer earlier. Loading in. This is not an interface of Windows people out there, okay? This is an interface for the server and its operating system. Because if I thought it is Windows, they have shown us Windows or Windows interface. Because all server on the system. Still loading. Let's wait for it. Okay, now we are in. At this point here, we have our. Hopefully you saw this earlier. DL380 generation 9. You saw it earlier here. Outside here. Earlier here. DL380 generation 9. Now that's the kind of server we are trying to work with. It's still initiating the network. We have to wait for this, so that at least we can be able to deal with all the functions inside. I'll try to go through this after. Also try to go to what you are used to, which is the boot menu. I'll also go there. The boot menu looks like exactly that of a desktop computer, okay? It has few changes, but almost everything that you see on a desktop computer is exactly what you will be seeing in the boot menu. We are still waiting for that option to initialize networking. When we are done with that, we shall be able to access our server properly. Any question as it's starting, feel free to post it. I'm waiting for you as it's initializing. Let me check on you. Some people need to be checked on every 5 minutes. Let me come back, my teacher. I'm waiting for you as it's initializing. According to the chat room, someone is saying JKM is saying just not some light below that discs are lighting. What are they communicating? Because I told you earlier that when you remove a hard disk from its array and you put it back, and that array, or if at all there could be another problem, it may not be necessarily only the electricity. It may have missed out something. This intelligent provisioning here that we are seeing on the screen right now, it will really show us the problem about those two hard disks. You're not supposed to memorize anything. For example, seeing these lights here and you memorize them. You just log into that. You just log into intelligent provisioning. You go where we are going to head next. Then exactly it will be able to show you the problem about these two hard disks. Another person was asking me, I don't know that he has pressed there, how do you obtain the IP address of the server? The IP of the server is not obtained just, okay? But also you can just connect the cable and it can automatically be given by DHCP. But since the network we have, it's a network, it's a thin client network, I don't recommend someone to use a DHCP or a dynamic IP address, which is automatically picked. Reason being, when you do that, if at all the server goes off and your IP is assigned to a new client, your thin clients will not connect because the server may have obtained a new IP address the next day. Friends, those who have those who may ask themselves what he means by saying IP. Remember the digits we were typing in yesterday, the 10.41. Since I'm on the internet, I will not complete the IP for safety of our lab. 10.41 and so on, okay? Then that one, the next day, the last digit we had, which was 36, okay? It may end up changing to a 45, okay? And if it changes to 45, implying the thin clients, because remember, when you want a user to connect, you should put the IP for the server. Implying if you have 100 thin clients, you're going to put the IP for the server. Since you left it on automatic or DHCP, always recommendation is the server should be always given a static IP address. Okay, that's why I was saying you don't just obtain it automatically. You ask your IT personnel, or if I tell you the administrator of that company, or you're the network administrator of that small industry where you are, then you can say these are preserved IP address for the two servers or the server and printers you have in the system. Okay. Now another person was asking me, where do we get this operating system? When the server is delivered, the server comes with this. Okay. The server comes with this. The same way you see the same way you see the phone coming with Android operating system, the same way you see what's the other thing? With the same way you see the Apple phones coming with there, also the operating system, the same way this server comes with this. Hi Gloria, my dear sis, I'm trying to teach. Maybe you should just follow. Then I hope I've answered that. There's another question you asked. I've forgotten it. About the operating system, about this operating system, it comes with it. Okay, that's why it's labeled even with this. Proliant DL380 Generation 9. This is not this comes with the setup of the system of the it's going to the sleep mode. Where is the mouse? Okay, now let's move on, people. Look here now. Configuration, configure and install. Configure and install. It has performance. Okay, performance, under performance, maintain your device with powerful tools. Then configure and install the installation. Oh, someone was asking me about how do we load that. Yeah, that was the second question. How do we load the Windows, or where do we find the Windows? It have two alternatives. Alternative one, you get your bootable device. For example, just yesterday but one, you created the bootable device of Windows Server 2016. which is a flash. Get your flash, put it in here, put it in any of these ports. For example, now we are using the upper server. You put your flash in this other port here, okay? Or if I told you this is in this other side, put your flash in here, okay? Any of the port, indeed, the flash will respond, any port on the server. After that, you go to your keyboard as usual. You look for the boot key. According to this server, it was showing us, was it F9 or F12 as our boot key, okay? Press the boot key, it will show you the boot menu. After it will show you the flash name. If I tell it SanDisk, it will show you SanDisk. If I tell it is the HP flash drive, it will show you HP flash drive. If Toshiba, it will show you Toshiba, okay? Select Toshiba if I told you have made your Toshiba a bootable device, okay? After that, you place enter. Automatically on the screen, it will load the Windows Server the Windows Server files, okay? Then the same way you have, that's why people today, I was insisting that someone should first install the operating system in the virtual machine. Because after selecting it, it will load our normal operating files, okay? After you click next, you select standard Windows Server, standard or Windows Server, the other old data center. Then after you go to next, then you put in the server name, also put in the password, next, then it loads the files, then it opens. As simple as that, okay? That's one alternative. Alternative two, you get your CD that has the server operating system, you put it in here, you put in your CD, push it in, turn on the server, place the button there, it will recognize the CD, it still will load the Windows Server on the screen. Then alternative 3, it's when I was telling you earlier when this machine was starting, in the corner here, there was boot through a network, okay? Or network boot, implying you're going to boot through a network where that image is on a certain network that you're going to connect to, and then you install that operating system. Then option 4 is through installing, configure and install through the intelligent provisioning. You install and configure. Let's go there. When you move this cursor close to this symbol, it changes the sign to this, like this, okay? Imply now it's active. Now I can click onto it, okay? When I click onto it, it's going to give me some time. It has to load. Prepare, wait for it. Okay, now we are in. Now when you look at in here still, we have select option is hardware. We have one current system profile. We have system profiles. We have system software update, ARI configuration. We shall talk about that later. Target controller. Then when you go to system software system updater, there is update before OS. OS is operating system. OS install. Try to expand that. Now, how does this help here? When you have such a thing, you can say skip updates. If always you want your server to always just turn on without getting updates on from internet, it has advantages and disadvantages. If you're in a busy place, I always think that it's better you skip the updates. Also, there are sometimes also when you have some softwares that they always just need only that exact version you have. The moment when you update to a newer version or adding more other new features, that software may not be compatible with the current running OS or operating system. Let me be clear. The current running Windows, okay? Or sometimes it may take a day when it's keeping on updating, when still running those updates, because the more it updates, the more it restarts. Okay, then system profile, here it has power and balanced power and performance, minimum power and usage, maximum performance. Now those who have laptops, you always see that in the extreme corner. When you click on the symbol of your battery, symbol that is always found in the corner of your laptop here. It will show you those options. These ones. Balance power and performance, minimum power and it's like the power the server is going to be using. Like you're trying to regulate power usage during that process. Okay. Now down here, the type of HP smart array, that's what we are using. We have HP Ethernet 1GB. These are the ports we are trying to show. There are 4 ports behind. You saw that earlier when I tried to go behind the server where we found the IRO port. We had more other several ports in there. Okay. I want to go to next. I want to click next here. Next is just in the corner here. We have back, previous is here. Next is here. Take the cursor in the corner there. Then it will change to this, to this, like this. It will show you that. Continue. Okay, we have gone to step 2. This one, step 1, then step 2. We have step 3 up to step 4. Under step 2, our type of operating system we are running currently on the system is Windows. If I told we were running Linux on these servers below here, it would have shown us here Linux. Okay, the first name Microsoft, it is representing the company that is the company of this software, this operating system that we are running. Okay, Microsoft is the manufacturer of this, or the software engineer of the operating system. We have more other. If at all we are running Red Hat, we shall select here Red Hat Linux. Or if at all we are running SUSE Linux Enterprise, we shall be. If at all it's a virtual machine where VMware, we shall choose that. Okay, that is implying that's the type of operating system we are to run. Below, we have install method. We have recommend. We have manual. Then below, that's where now the point is, because I'm trying to explain to you the 4th way of installing the operating system. If I just not a flash, it's not a CD. Look below here. We have source media. Are you using a physical DVD? In bracket locus or IRO virtual media. IRO virtual media implying I'm using IRO system to install. Or am I using Windows or Samba network? Samba network is for it's a servers for these people, Microsoft. Okay, they can give you login credentials, then you log into their system, then you'll be installing the operating system through their servers. Also that's remote. Then you have FTP, that's file transfer protocol. Then USB key, this is where our USB flash comes in. If I'm to use that, then I'll come and check this box and I'll check that, okay, implying I'm going to use that. But since I don't have any USB right now, it will tell me it can't find the USB. If I have a DVD in with the operating system, automatically it will pick our image from the DVD. If I don't through the network from their servers, Windows server, Samba network share, I'll check this. Then on here, I'll click on continue. I'll take the cursor there. I'll say continue. If at all I'm going to get things from their system. Let me leave it there. Let's say continue. Then it's complaining. Look. Please attach some optical, or the optical they're talking about, that's the DVD or IRO media. But since we don't have any DVD in here, no, we don't have any network connected to our IRO, that's why it is denying us this opportunity. Okay, hopefully we are clear with that. Let me say okay. That's why we can't proceed. The next two options in here, OS information and requirements. Hopefully we are clear with that. All right. Any question, please feel free to make it visible in the chat room. Let me go back. Still telling me to wait, please wait. And I also click again back. I want to go back to the home page here. If you want to restart or to exit this mode, if at all you're done with it, in the corner here, up here, in the extreme here, we have a power button here in the corner. When you click on it, you will be exiting this mode. Hopefully you can see that power. Okay, we are done with configure and installation. That's where you can install an operating system from using the intelligent provisioning. Let's go to performance and maintenance. This is where we can find the ARI, the disk mirroring, and so on. Okay, maintenance, reports, and so on. This is where we're going to find them. Let's go. Bring our cursor to give us that arrow. This arrow of the finger. Okay. When you look at this, we have active LFS system download. We have intelligent provision. That's where we are. When you want to do ARIs, want to set up ARIs, this is where we find them. Okay. HPE Smart Storage Administrator. That's where we do it from, and we shall go there. Quick configuration, we shall also go there. But our main target is mainly here. Okay. If you want to put in the IRO IP, after you connecting the cable behind on a switch, you do it from here. IRO configurations here. Firmware update. If you want to update the firmware for the server, from here. Deployment settings, we don't need that. Erase here. If at all, for example, if you're selling off this server, you're selling off the server for the company. For example, the company has requested that we are going to sell off this server. We no longer need them. We are going to buy new servers, but we don't want to sell off our data to any other company. You click on this erase. The entire server will be deleted automatically without going to individual partitions to delete. It can be erased from here. Okay, you go to this option, erase. All of this is all under intelligent provisioning. Okay. Let's go back to smart storage. I'll click there. It's loading. When it loads, it will show us this in the corner. It will show us this, but we're more interested in this here. It has a server, option server here. Then it has this symbol in the corner here. This symbol in the corner here with the warning symbol here. It's warning because of the number of times we have been removing the hard disk here. Also, these two you were asking me about. Why are they showing us? Why are they showing us the red and the white symbols, or the warning symbols? That's why we have that warning symbol up on there. Okay, we have a question. Let me show me how to connect the KVM switch to the server, and also if you have the Samba disk, can you please show it? I don't have a Samba disk with me. I've been always using flash drives to install, but with the KVM switch, okay, the KVM switch, let us first show that, people. Let me first close this. This is behind here. This one behind here, when I remove the keyboard and the monitor, behind here, this is the KVM switch. Okay, it's a matter of just you trying to first connecting it to this rack cabin. Put this thing up. Putting it in this rack cabin, you just need to screw it in here. Okay, putting in these screws and in here. Okay, these ones. After that, you get its cable. The cable I was trying to show you earlier here, behind here, here. You can either put it behind here, or you can put it front. This, you just put this cable. It's like the way you see a VGA cable. Okay, this one up here. You want to use either PC5, implement that port 5, PC4, implement that port 4, and so PC7, like that. Anywhere you want to put it. Okay. After putting in that cable, we take it in front here. It's the cable you see here. Okay, I've disconnected the system, but it's fine. This is the cable you see in here. Let me first put this below. Madam, can I show this? Is it possible? Okay, you can see that. Then let me first disconnect this. This is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. Okay, is it visible? This is how it looks like. We have this is representing for our monitor. This is supposed to be representing a keyboard, and this is supposed to represent a mouse. Okay, but for the nature of our server, it's supposed to be a USB. Okay, not this, not touch, not pins. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. Can you? Now put it a little bit below. Okay. Now not pins. Okay. Not pins. Supposed to be like this. They are supposed to be USB. For that case, that's why you're seeing me using an extra keyboard here and an extra mouse. But when it comes to the monitor is already catered for. Okay. I'll just put it in there. That's why we have that. When I remove the monitor, this goes off, okay? But doesn't mean that the server is off. When I put it back, then we have our server that is on the screen. Back to our server on the screen. Hopefully, I've shown you how to connect that. It's not visible. Tukashi Richard, did you see it or not? Or I should show it to you again. Thanks, understand. Okay, thank you. Let's proceed. Hopefully, Richard, also you saw when I tried to pull it a little bit closer. Now, this area you're seeing, number 5. This is the number of times I've removed the hard disk. For the first group, that those who came in, this is the number of times we have been removing the hard disk, and implying now we supposed to check this. Okay. Let's start with the server first on top. Okay, let's start the first option on server on top. When I click on the server, it gives me this option here in the corner, diagonalize. Okay. When I click on diagonalize to ask me exactly, do I want to diagonalize the ARRI diagnostic report, or should I say smart SSD? In our server, I don't have smart SSD hard disks in it. But if I thought we had them, because I know the slot is in there, we can click on and we can get the report. Let us do that of ARRI. ARRI, when you click on ARRI, it will show us view diagnostic report and save the diagnostic report. If I want to view the diagnostic report, click there, it will load it. Hopefully you see that. After, it will show me all the components in the server and what could the problem could be. Now, what we had earlier, the hard disks you were asking me about, why are they lighting red? This is the problem. This is the problem it's telling me here. The physical drive status predictive failure. Then because of removing the physical drive is predicted to fail soon. Okay, to be spoiled soon. Okay, then another is down here. These are the 2 hard disks. Okay, they're also telling us the cache is permanently disabled for these 2 hard disks. Hopefully you're seeing the labels 600 GB, 600 GB. You looked at these specs earlier, because each is represented by 600. Those are the 2 hard disks you see in here. They are going to be spoiled because of the cache that has been permanently disabled, but I think we can also fix that. Okay, we can fix that. And they're also telling us below, apart from that, that the data, now they are saying that the data on the physical drive is being rebuilt. Rebooting, that's what I told you, that it's going to run from 1% up to 100%. That's the rebooting they're talking about here. Then logical drive status, the ARRI control is rebooting this logical drive. I told you however much you're seeing 111 disk, but they are physically combined. They are logically combined. You see physical, they are 402, but you can make them to look as one hard disk. Okay, there are more other parts in here with their reports. Okay, with their reports, because I told you earlier that each component in the server in this report is represented. whether the status of it is fine or it has a problem. There are very many. I can really scroll down here from here. Very many, very many, very many. Okay, you don't need to really sit on the server the whole day to try to go through this. In case your boss needs such a report to know what's really happening, just close this, come to this second option here, save the diagnostic report. This one is just viewing. You're saving to either an external flash or a drive. Click there, then it will load them. After loading up to 100, it will tell you, since we don't have a flash here, now it's telling us here, no removable device found. Please connect a formatted USB drive and click refresh device to try. Immediately when I put here my either external hard drive or a flash drive, then I can click here refresh and it will be saved on my, click here, down here, refresh devices, and it will be saved on my flash drive, which I'll represent to my boss or I'll represent to my company manager, right? For our case here, I don't need the report. I'll close. That's about the server. Going back to the previous menu, you click up here on that arrow, drop arrow. Then we click on configure. I've said when you want to go back to the previous work, you click on the drop arrow. Then you go back to this. You click on this. Drop arrow. Click on this. It will display this. Repeat. Drop arrow. Then take the cursor to this. It displays this. Then we go to configure. This will take us back from where we started from. Okay. Server takes back to this. All right, now let's go to the second option, which is Smart Array. If you have a question, pause it and I'll continue. The SSD full is solid state devices. For our case, SSD is solid state devices. In our case, we have 0. We don't have any SSD. SSDs, that's the new, they have started replacing hard disks with SSDs. As we see that before they were using floppy diskettes. Floppy disks were replaced by CDs. CDs were replaced by flash drives. Flash drives were replaced by hard disks. Then hard disks are now these days currently being replaced by solid state devices. These are faster than the hard disks. Okay. Let's move to this point. Let me first wait if at all you have any question before we proceed to our reconfigurations. If you don't have any question, you say no. I will proceed. Madam teacher, you also ask him, please, also in the same class, if you have any question. Don't enjoy that seat, yeah? Okay, people, I'm back. I'm back. Let's do thanks, understand. Now, let's do the, madam, I should not miss out on the report be stored like a file on a flash or drive. When presenting it, it will be just stored as a text, a notepad file, okay? It can be, you can open it using a notepad and so on. When you see the status setups you have in the system, down here, let me try to change my camera. Down here we have a controller configuration summary. We have 4 data arrays, we have 4 data logics drives, and we have 80 data drives. Now 8 data drives, these are the physical drives that we are counting earlier here. That this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the 80, what they are referring to here. 8 data drives, 4 data logic drives, and 4 data arrays. Let's see where they are. I'll click on configuration. When I click on configuration, it will show us more controller drives. We have logic drives. We have 4 of them. We have physical drives. Physical drives, that's what you have just counted. We have 8 of them. Unassigned drives. Unassigned drives is like you having a computer, desktop computer, or your laptop. When you battery warning, give me that USB. Give me that USB. USB still. Thank you. I thought it would take us out to this stuff. Let me first put there the USB so that we can be able to charge it. Okay. It will charge. Right. Let's do that. Unassigned drives like you having a laptop with the 2 hard disks or a desktop. For example, maybe you have a desktop of 1 TB, but in the desktop you have 500 GBs. Then the hard disk of 500 GBs, that's where you're doing your work from. But you have an extra 500 GB in your desktop and you're not using it. Then that is referred to as an assigned drive, okay? That's where it falls. And that's where we come up with. Now, if at all out of our 8 physical drives, the one we have just counted earlier, if at all one is not being used, it would have shown us here it's under an assigned drive. But since all are being used, that's why it's showing us this to my people. Okay. Now, logic, I think I should try to illustrate that to you. Me, hopefully it does not really mess up for our stuff forever. Let me show you something to be referred to as the logic, because some people may have never seen that before. Let me get for you some things here. Let me get hard disks. Okay. I can hold only 3, though there are very many. For example, I have 3 hard disks here. Take an example. These are the I have 3 of them here. Take an example that these are the 8 hard disks we had. Okay, where I had count 1, then the 2, 3. Okay, then if I could hold the very many, then I could have maybe count up to 8, like the way they have. Now each here, these 3 hard disks, each here is counted as one physical hard disk. The one of the option, okay, one physical hard disk, like the ones they were referring to as 80 physical drives. Okay, now when I make these 2, each is 500. When I make these 2 look together like this to show us like 500, when you add up that's 1000, and they give us 1 TB. But you can no longer see on your screen these as separated hard disks. As you're seeing this as one, then this will become a logic drive, okay? Because you have made it. If at all maybe I add a third one, okay? Now this one is 1500, and this appears on your computer as one. This is another logic drive. Calling it logic because you're making physical hard disks to look one, okay? Are we together, people? Now, them saying that we have 4 logic drives, implying you have come up with the grouped hard disks to look one in 4 in 4 different ways. Okay. Hopefully we can pick that, or you understand that. If at all I had maybe 15 and I group those 15 into 3, then I will come up with the 5 logic drives, implying I'm making 3 physical hard disks to look one in 5 ways. Okay, that's where I will come up with 5 logic drives. If you copy, you say yes. If you're lost, you say no. I will repeat it. Right? Okay, I put those down there. Good, let's proceed. Hopefully you understand that. Let's come back to our options here. Then someone was asking me about how do we clear cache, or how do we deal with cache. Cache option is just down here. After these 3 options, then below we have cache manager. Okay, then that's where we shall click on cache, After then you go to cache controller. I've clicked here. Then you go to cache controller, okay? Then there is modifying cache at the extreme end here. Cache modification. When I click on it, then let me first, because people may, when I click on cache modification, it will bring us to this page, okay? Where this page you'll be able to see different hard disk. This is 558. Now this one that has a warning symbol. Hopefully you can see this up here. This one is here, and also you have this. But when you're keen, you can see also. Let me try to change my camera. The first one is labeled as RAID 1. The second one is labeled as RAID 6. The other one is labeled as RAID 0. Also, this one is labeled as RAID 0. Let's go back to the first one. The first one is labeled as Logic Drive 1. We have Logic Drive 2. We have Logic Drive 3. We have Logic Drive 4.